A full house for Detroit Sports Plus today. Check us out.
Gentlemen, how are
Hi,
we?
Ian. Good to see you again. Ken,
Glad to
welcome
be here.
back.
It's very crowded.
Pleasure to be here.
Very crowded.
Yeah, pleasure to be
I'm
here.
not sure.
not big enough?
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to talk enough.
Absolute honor to be with you today, gentlemen.
So good to see you. Good to be seen. And thank you for joining us here on DSP along with Derek, Ian, and Ken. I'm Hobie. And we said it's a crowded house up here right now, but it's not a crowded house in the AL Central for the Tigers, despite what happened over the weekend getting
No,
swept
it's a single-family
by the
home.
Mariners. Well, right now
They went on vacation a little early.
They
It's fine.
did. They did. A chance to get to 60 wins, but the Tigers were not able to get there after they lost 3 to the Mariners. What would you say is the most disappointing thing about going into the All-Star break like that?
The bullpen. I mean,
Yep.
we had like some concerns about the back end, but now it's starting to get a little bit more alarming because Tommy Kahnle was that lockdown guy for so long, and now the last few outings have just been disastrous. So it's starting to look like more and more of a need.
Yeah, I wish I could say something different, but it's the bullpen. The bullpen has been kind of teetering there. You had Kahnle and Vest have kind of been the guy, but you knew you needed to add somebody. This really exposed that like they have to add somebody or this team. I mean, they're still going to be good. They're still the best team in baseball right now, but you're not going to win playoff series with that bullpen currently.
I feel like they're just kind of going into the All-Star break looking for they need a break. Like it's been a heck of a first half of the year, and I feel like we see this in sports a lot. Like some good teams just take their foot off the pedal like heading into a break like this. So I'm not putting too much stock into it, but I guess we'll see what they look like when they come back. But not too concerned.
And not a terrible stretch whenever they come out of the All-Star break. It's the Rangers who are hovering around 500, and then the Pirates who they saw a couple of weeks ago. But then they have the Blue Jays who are the #1 team in the AL East. But like Ken said, at this point in time, it's a long baseball season, and this team has won 59 games. Is there any cause for concern? I know you say the bullpen, but Riley Green playing the way he is right now. Can other guys get healthy? Kerry Carpenter dealing with an injury. We see Parker Meadows continue to take steps. I mean, any concerns aside from that bullpen?
I mean, my concern overall is at like a 2, right, out of 10. I mean, you can't have no concerns because there are clear holes that need to be patched at some point, and we really haven't seen Scott Harris have to do that yet. So it's not a 0, but like you said, this is the best record in baseball. A 4-game losing streak over 162 is absolutely nothing, and the Mariners are playing really good ball right now. Like, I honestly think this weekend was more about the Mariners than it was about the Tigers. So, they needed a break. It came at a good time for them, but the concern is super low for me.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned beyond, they lost 4 games. It's baseball. There's a lot of games, and they're going to lose. And the fact that it took them this long to lose 4 in a row says more about the rest of the season than it probably does this weekend. So I'm not concerned at all. I do think it kind of just reiterates what we already knew. There are some pieces they definitely have to acquire to move on to get over this hump. But in the long run, it's just a couple games.
That's all I got, man.
Just a couple of games.
Just a couple of
Just
games.
a couple of games.
Just a couple of games.
But last year at this time, people were wondering, okay, are the Tigers going to start selling pieces off? And I think that has completely changed over the course of a year. Looking at, we'll get to talking about the All-Star game because this team does have 6 players playing in the All-Star game, which is incredible.
And the bad boy.
And yes, let's not forget about Frankie. Cannot forget about Frankie. But so they're sending 7 people to Atlanta. I think that's also indicative of how far this team has come this season. But looking at the trade deadline, if you are Scott Harris and you're looking to make a deal, what is the one thing that you have to do? Because we say, it's disappointing to go into the All-Star break like this, but no concern. But if you want to make a run at a World Series, you might need some help. But where does that begin?
It's funny because all season, if you would have asked me this, I probably would have said a power-hitting right-handed bat. But now I think that's 3rd on my list. I honestly think, number 1, I still think they need like an innings-eating type starting pitcher, somebody who can go into the middle of the rotation and just reliably keep the Tigers in the game. But the back-end bullpen stuff, and I hate to say it because those guys are going to be super expensive. There aren't going to be many sellers this year. Every single contender needs at least one reliever. So they're always overpriced, but it really does seem like the Tigers need one more piece.
Yeah, I agree they need a piece. I don't know that there's that guy out there who I want them that is available, and also I want them to go get. I'm worried that whoever they're going to get, they're going to way overpay for,
Yeah.
and we're going to say this guy wasn't worth it. And they're just everybody who's been kind of talked about are minor upgrades. I mean, I'm not a huge David Bednar guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't excite me. Whatever we're going to have to give up for him really doesn't excite me. And he's just going to be another version of what we already have.
Right.
It's not like, okay, Aroldis Chapman or Alex Bregman. When the Red Sox were kind of falling away, I was like, okay, there's a team we need to go get pieces off of. I don't know that the team's there. There's so many teams within like a couple games of the wild card. There's you just have a couple teams out there, and there aren't exciting pieces.
It's hard for me to accept the thought that the Tigers would trade like Hao-Yu Lee, who you had for 6 years, for someone like David Bednar, and then he maybe pitches 2 innings in the postseason,
Right.
and it's like, what did we even do this?
Right.
It's not like the Tigers need to make moves to get to the playoffs.
No.
All they have to do is tread water for the next 3 months.
Right.
So it's the Tigers have the luxury of being able to look at the roster and be like, okay, what does this roster need to look like when we get to the postseason? That's why I don't think they need to get a great starting pitcher, because in the playoffs you really only need 3 starting pitchers.
Right.
They need a guy who's just going to get them to that finish line, and maybe it's with a bye, maybe not. But the number one priority should be, once the playoffs start, okay, Skubal, Mize, Flaherty probably, and then what does the rest of the starting or the entire pitching staff look like in a short series?
Right.
I think another question, what you brought up, the price. What is the most, if you are the Tigers, that you'd be willing to give up? Whenever the way you've constructed this roster, everybody feeds off of each other, and any night can be a different guy's night. At what price are you paying to like maybe mess up chemistry versus will it pay off in the long run? And I say long run by meaning deep postseason run.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a little bit of a different mentality when it comes to this. I don't like to blow all the prospects to take one big swing at the apple, because, what if they go all in this season and then Riley Green gets hurt or Tarek Skubal gets hurt and then they don't win the World Series and they ruined the next few years? I think the Tigers are focused on getting to the playoffs or being in the playoff hunt for the next several years, and then hoping that, that quantity gets them in. So I'm not trading Max Clark. I'm not trading McGonigal. I'm not trading Senyo. I'm probably not even trading Bryce Rayner. Those guys are non-starters to me, and maybe if you get lower down on the prospect list, you can start talking about some guys, but I just don't think the Tigers are going to mortgage the future.
And I don't think there's the guy out there to go get. If the guy was out there, I maybe feel a little bit different, because they have so many pieces. I don't want to give up any of those pieces for anybody we've been talking about being available. For a
non-guarantee.
Exactly. Yeah. You're not getting somebody long-term. You're not getting somebody who's a guaranteed upgrade. I mean, if you're going to move any of those pieces, this needs to be a guaranteed upgrade. I haven't heard a name that's a guaranteed upgrade to me.
Yeah, I'd love to see the Tigers find a way to get like a Merrill Kelly from the Diamondbacks if they're willing to sell. Maybe Eugenio Suarez is part of that deal if the Diamondbacks decide to sell.
The reverse of all this is, if the roster stays put where it is, can this team win a World Series?
Yes, they can.
They can.
They're the best team in baseball with this roster currently. They objectively can win a World Series. They could make it a lot easier on themselves and give themselves more room for error if they added, sure. But as it's constructed, they're good enough.
I just hope they're aggressive. Like if there's a deal on the table that can make them closer to World Series, winners, do something, you know what I mean? Because we've just seen it so many times where we have a team and there's a window, and that final move that kind of puts you over the hump move doesn't get made, and then or another team makes that move. Yeah. And then we're like, oh man,
should
have done that move.
Yeah.
Or,
the 2011 to 2014 Tigers notoriously ignored the bullpen every single year, and that did end multiple of their playoff runs. Mm-hmm. So I think Tigers fans probably feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
Learn from your history and move on to make some more history.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, Hobie.
You like that? You like that?
Getting philosophical here on
there
DSP.
We go. Another thing that a lot of Tigers fans like, seeing 6-player All-Stars and a bat boy going to the All-Star game in Atlanta. We'll discuss what that means for this team, and Tarek Skubal getting the start this year after not getting it last year. What do we hope to see? More on that coming up on DSP. All-Star game is here, and the Tigers are sending 6 players to this All-Star game. 4 guys voted in, 2 guys were added later on. When you hear that, if I would have told you that at the beginning of the season, what would you have said?
I would have had a hard time picking the 6.
Yeah.
Definitely
way.
wouldn't have been Casey Mize.
No.
Definitely wouldn't have been Zach McKinstry.
No
Yeah.
way.
Like, which 6? I would have been stumped.
Well, I will say though, we sat here some weeks
wouldn't
ago.
have been
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And you did say you said Zach McKinstry
No,
deserves
no.
to be an All-Star, but you said it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Ian texted me probably in early May saying, they're talking about Zach McKinstry. He could be an
I
all-star
said,
right now.
That's exactly what I said. I go, I wanted to text you yesterday. Zach McKinstry's an all-star. Fire up chips, by the way. And I thought I was crazy. And then Jason Benetti said it on the
Yeah.
broadcast. And I was like, okay, now I'm throwing it out there like Zach McKinstry's going to be an all-star.
Yeah, and at the time it was like, okay, he's had a really cute month, right?
Yeah.
Like
It was
he'll
early
regress.
at that point.
Yeah, he'll regress back to his solid levels, but
Yeah.
nope. I mean, he is every bit as deserving as the next guy. So
Yep. So you know what? It's not going to get talked about. Maybe they will show some stuff. His arm in the outfield
It's elite.
has been
Yeah.
amazing this year.
Yeah.
And you don't get a ton of credit for that. You see some putouts on whatever. Nobody talks about it. It has been game-changing. It's
That
been
throw
awesome.
from right field he had to third base. What was that, last weekend?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
They should have that as part of All-Star Weekend. Like you
Like
got to
a
throw
throwing-
somebody out at home
like
plate.
in a can, you got to
It's the
throw it
other-
into a
Yeah.
trash can.
Targets.
Exactly. It's the
Targets.
opposite. It's the opposite of the home run.
Right.
You're throwing it really
You
far.
could.
I'd
do
watch
it,
that.
You could do it before
skills
the home run
competition?
derby. I mean, you could
Yeah.
do a skills competition.
You could. Well, no, Derek,
it would be fun.
talk to your people, man.
Okay, yeah, I'll get with MLB.
But then somebody like throws out their arm, like participating in something like that.
Injuries.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably.
It could happen. I mean,
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sorry to like tone down the fun.
Yeah. We shouldn't have the home run derby either. Somebody could throw their back out tonight.
The thing about Zach McKinstry that I really do appreciate,
It's back on
the
the rails.
Tigers are the best team in baseball, and he just perfectly embodies everything
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they do. Like he's
Yeah.
not out.
Say it. Use the word.
He's
Use
not
the word.
what
Grit.
word?
It's grit.
Grit.
It's
He
grit.
he's not
got the grit.
outstanding in like the big areas that people care about. He like home runs and stolen bases, but like he runs the bases at an elite level. He makes the plays at an elite level. He can go to multiple positions.
Yeah, the
wherever
multiple
Tigers need
position
him.
thing I think
Yeah.
has been really allowing them to move guys around, put guys in at different times in the game, have different lineups. His versatility has allowed that to happen.
If the 2025 Detroit Tigers were a person, they would be Zach McKinstry.
Yeah. Agreed.
Gritty.
Yeah, and all the other stuff that I said.
Yeah. Agreed.
That makes sense.
Looking at this All-Star game coming up, I mean, a lot of guys are going to get some playing time, but what storyline, which player? Clearly, Zach McKinstry, if he gets in the game, these two are just going to go insane.
Fire up chips.
Knew it was going to happen. Who are you expecting to see the most out of?
I'm expecting to have the most fun watching Tarek Skubal,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm really hoping that Riley Green gets a hold of one. Like usually the MVP of the game is just the hitter who hits a home run on the winning team.
Yeah.
And Riley Green,
Could be
Chances
that guy.
are.
yeah,
Yeah, he'll be swinging for the fences for sure. He's batting first or second, right?
he's second behind Glaber.
So he's going to get Skeens to start.
fun.
Fun times.
Yeah.
I think it's Skubal too. I mean, the one thing about Skubal, and I don't know, is it like just the Tigers or maybe if his name was John Smith, like it doesn't feel like he has that like nationwide recognition yet. And I'm hoping like this gets him that.
He did on Sunday Night Baseball.
He did, yeah.
He did. And then now he's going to have that coming out
right,
of the All-Star
yeah,
break, too. I mean,
yeah.
this is kind of like the perfect centerpiece for the nation to find out who Tarek Skubal is.
Agreed. Even as a Cy Young winner last year, it didn't feel like he was ever talked about as like being the guy in baseball. Like what else?
But it really took him like the second half of the year to really
Yeah.
take off and kind of get into that next level.
I think you could say that for the entire Tigers team.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a huge showcase for the Tigers and what they've been building. I mean, there's got to be a lot of casuals out there that don't even know the Tigers have a double-digit game lead in the division, or that they have 6 All-Stars in the game, and they're probably going to be watching it and being like, man, there's lots of Tigers out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are the Tigers good?
I just want people to know who Tarek Skubal is before the Dodgers give him $500 million.
Yeah.
So
Ian gives up right there. The thing I'm really looking forward to seeing Tarek Skubal and Paul Skeens go at it because we almost got that last 2 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
I was begging.
We
I was begging
almost
you
got
for
that.
it.
We almost got that.
Even the
It really
weather
did
wanted
get
it.
The weather
The
wanted
weather
it.
wanted
All
it.
you had
I
to
mean,
do,
come
they
on.
rained out.
You just had to
That was
mix the
voluntary
schedules
choice
up
by
a
the
little bit.
managers.
It was.
It was, but now we get to see it. I can't wait to see the two best pitchers in baseball. And do they line up whenever they come back? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see because they play the Pirates, I think, the second series. But probably not because
Yeah, it would be
Skubal would
game-
probably pitch Sunday
he's
Night
pitching
Baseball.
Sunday Night Baseball out of the
Yeah.
break.
So the week
Yeah.
after that,
Yeah.
We wouldn't get it there, so at least we're going to get it for the All-Star.
Maybe they'll face off in the World Series this year.
One team, potentially.
If the Dodgers trade for Skeens.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You excited?
Are we still talking about Scooble going to the Dodgers?
No,
No.
we're not going to talk about that. This is a celebratory day. We have 6 All-Stars and a Bat Boy.
And a Bat Boy.
The Tigers are very well represented. Best record in baseball. I mean, this is just take the next 4 days, forget about what just happened, and just enjoy the fact that the Tigers actually have a presence at like what is, in my opinion, the best All-Star game of any sport.
Well, watch
I
it
think
on
that's fair.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
You're right.
Best All-Star
The
game
bar
on
is
any
low.
sport.
Like the home run derby has managed to avoid the dunk contest.
Yeah.
Kind of like the dunk contest used to be must-see TV, and now I haven't watched it in years because it's just not any good. The home run derby still has that spice.
Yeah.
Well, it's because like at the end of the day, it's the same thing. You don't have to come up with a new way to hit home runs.
That's true. They could.
Just
That'd
have
be
to hit a
fun.
bunch of them. That's it.
That's
You
very
have to
true.
hit a
Yeah.
bunch of them. So.
I don't know. Maybe Aaron Judge or somebody could wear like a cape to go up to.
Jump over a car while he's hitting a home run. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Predictions for tonight?
Magli Ordonez.
Unbelievable.
Man, I really liked Acuna before he dropped out. I feel like O'Neal Cruz. I'm going O'Neal Cruz.
I'm gonna say James Wood. James
Yeah,
Wood.
that's a good pick,
he's,
too.
He had a good game against the
he's a
Tigers a couple
monster.
weeks ago.
Guy's a monster.
Yeah.
is.
All right. Well, guess what else starts up later on this week?
Is it the
Hockey?
Lions?
It is not hockey. It is the Lions. The rookies report in just a few days. The veterans report on Saturday. And then we get going on another season of high expectations. We'll break it down coming up on DSP. Middle of the summer, so baseball is the talk, especially here in Detroit with the best team in baseball. But the Lions were the best team in the NFC in the regular season last year. Training camp gets going at the end of the week.
Wow.
First day coming up on Saturday. That's whenever the veterans report.
Wow.
Well, why do you say wow? Excitement? That was a
came quick.
muted wow, I will say.
Oh, it just came quick. I can't believe we're already in football season.
I'm always, every time this happens, I'm always like, oh man, football season's coming up. Then I'm like, wait, that means summer's almost over.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
But it's a good balance because football season is always an exciting
It
time.
is. You're right.
A lot of exciting times in Detroit, though, with so many changes in the offseason for the good and the bad. Of course, there's all the coaching changes this team's had. But then defensively, hopefully, everything will be okay whenever it comes to the health perspective of this team. What are you most excited to see when things get going in Allen Park?
Can I tell you what I'm most nervous about?
Or let's go with that. Let's go the other way.
Because
Sure.
right now I'm feeling more of a nervous energy, and I think that is reflected in the Lions fandom going into this season. 'Cause,
every
like,
season.
Well, the last couple
year was
years,
high hopes.
The
Like,
last
it
couple
was-
years, like when
Yeah.
you're entering a window of contention, the most fun part is when you don't know how good you are and your team is getting good. And I feel like that's what the last 2 years were. The Lions exceeded expectations both times. They were really fun. They were kind of like America's team. And I'm worried that now we've entered the like expectations portion of this run. And the expectations portion of the run is also the part where you have the most danger of heartbreak and frustration. So if the Lions, they've had a lot of turnover, both coaching staff and player going into this season. So I'm excited for, to see Amon-Ra St. Brown and to see all the offensive weapons. But at the same time, I'm like, what if the offensive line isn't any good? And, what if the new coaches show that we really did need Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn? So there's a lot of questions for them to answer for me.
A lot of questions, Derek. A lot of questions. But I will say, I think that fans are experiencing the same thing that we have been experiencing for the last few years. While the Lions got really good and we were really kind of like, is this real? Is this going to happen? When is it all going to fall apart? Yeah. Entering this season, almost the same mindset. We're expecting it. We're like expecting the worst, right? We're like, oh man, this happened. There's no way. There's no way they're going to be good again like the way they were before, right? Wrong, Derek.
Oh, no.
Wrong.
You're crazy.
15-2 though. We're not.
I'm not talking about that. No, forget
He's
the
talking
record.
about actually good.
I'm just talking
Yeah.
about will they contend for a Super Bowl? The answer is yes.
Okay.
They will contend for a Super Bowl because they have this. It's the same philosophies that brought them here. It's Brad Holmes. It's Dan Campbell. It's the culture of the team that they built. Everyone that they brought in from the beginning to now has fit the culture and has has moved them closer to winning. And so I don't expect anything less. The coaches that they brought in, the draft picks, the free agents, all that stuff, I expect that to contribute to them continuing to win and continuing to build a contender that they are.
This is why we separate the two of you.
Yeah. I mean, I hope Ken's right. I do agree that that's within the, possible outcomes. I don't know. It's hard to see it right now with the way these last couple months.
And the offensive line definitely makes me nervous because that is such a linchpin for this team, and the ability to run the ball, the ability for Jared Goff to stay upright, have time in the pocket. If that doesn't exist, they're not the same team. Now, what I'm excited about is to see the defense healthy, because that was just something the offense had to overcome all season last year. So maybe the offense doesn't have to be as good if the defense is better.
Yeah.
And they can still win games. They may not be as exciting, but they can still get to the ultimate goal. That would be the hope. I think this year is the Jahmyr Gibbs year. We kind of saw it at the end of last year. I think this year has the potential for him to be one of the best players in the NFL. It's just going to be, what's the offensive line do? Do they give him that opportunity, or does he get wasted because they're trying different combinations of things? There's more injuries, whatever the case may be. That's the part I'm most nervous about.
Can I change my answer?
Go ahead.
I'm most excited to see Aiden Hutchinson healthy again, just because what he was getting ready to do last season with the sack total was really special. And I think we're all kind of wondering what percent of Aiden Hutchinson are we getting back compared to what he was last year. And if it's 100% of Aiden Hutchinson.
And this team is confident that that's what it is.
That's
no
what they
doubt.
think. And if that's true, then, all bets are off. They could be as good as last year.
He should have won Defensive Player of the Year last. At the rate he was going at, that was Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Material.
Yeah.
He was on like a record-breaking pace. I mean, not even just for the Lions.
And I think about that too. Like, he was obviously the biggest injury, not only for the Lions, but one of the biggest injuries you could see in the NFL last year. And just putting him back on the field as a threat, and he was winning time and time and time again. I heard it the other day. He was winning like 38% of his pass rushes. That is unheard of. If he can even come close to that again this year, I think this Lions defense could rise to the challenge across the board.
Have they done enough? Have they done enough to be better with the losses that they've had? I mean, the coaching losses are going to hurt.
Interior offensive line, because I think you're banking on Tate Ratledge being your answer at one of the starting guard spots or at center, depending on which way you see it.
Yeah.
I got to think that in-house, the Lions clearly believe they have enough to run the ball effectively, to protect the quarterback, all that stuff. If they didn't believe that, I would think that they would have made a move in some way. So until I see it not working, they have a track record now. They have a track record of success. So, I'll give them some time to prove it, before I'm, too worried about it.
We got to see it all come together in training camp. But busy offseason too. Quarterback dropped on Netflix. Ken and I watched it. Your biggest takeaway from watching Quarterback?
Amon-Ra St. Brown's number.
Yeah, that's the best part.
That's the best part. I heard about that too.
That is crazy. I mean, the fact that he's just number 14 for absolutely no reason is hilarious. I don't know why. No, actually, the biggest takeaway was mid-season when the defense was just completely falling apart, and you see the team meeting with Dan Campbell, and he just looks at Jared Goff and says, "This is on you now, buddy."
Yeah.
And, publicly, Dan Campbell was very much like, our defense is going to be ready. Next man up, blah, blah. And then in the team meeting, he's like, we're screwed, buddy. This is all on you. And I just thought that was really telling. And, the offense did carry. I mean, Jared Goff was like, yes, sir.
And I think a lot of ways that message is going to be the same this year, just in a different context with Jared Goff, because I think the offense is going to need him to step up and lead the way. But the most surprising thing to me was how emotional we got to see Jared Goff, because so often he is this stoic person that's always at the podium saying the right thing. And whether it's in football, talking about his journey, coming to Detroit, and being selected and being wanted and appreciated, we saw that. We saw him get emotional about that. But then also he had a scholarship giveaway with some kids who had come to visit the facility, and you got to see a different side of him.
Yeah.
And I think that was the best part of the entire thing. And also the history behind the stumble bump play. That was really good. Where
Yeah, that was great.
Goff pretends to fall, Jahmyr Gibbs actually falls, and they throw a touchdown against the
Thanks
Bears.
to the Packers for that. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was Jordan Love. Thank
It
you,
was
Jordan
Jordan
Love.
Love.
Appreciate it. That's all the time we have on DSP. For Ken, for Ian, for Derek, I'm Hobie. We'll see y'all next time.